What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So we have spent a lot of time on this channel talking about the best personal credit cards, business credit cards, and everything in between. And if you have watched those different videos on the different types of credit cards, then you may have realized that business credit cards offer a ton of additional benefits over their personal counterparts. But if you don't have a business, then how are you supposed to take advantage of those additional benefits? Well, lucky for you, you are not out of luck. So in today's video, I want to talk about how you can get a business credit card and reap all of those additional benefits without having a business. All right, let's jump right into it. Okay, so before we get into all of the details on exactly how this works, let's answer the question that I'm sure a lot of you are wondering that seems to have a very vague answer. And that is, can you get a business credit card without a business? Well, I will tell you right now that the answer is yes and no. Let me explain. You do not need to be some corporation, LLC, S-Corp, or even have official documents or an EIN number of any kind in order to get a business credit card or bank account. I've talked about this in depth in other videos, but starting a business does not mean that you have some fancy name that is registered and trademarked. If you run a small business or side hustle or even just sell things online, you are a business. If you're a freelance worker or a contractor or a gig worker, then you are also a business. And even if you're just a 1099 worker or you drive Uber once a month, you are a business. And most of those examples I just mentioned fall under what's called a sole proprietorship. And the beautiful thing about a sole proprietorship is that there's no fancy paperwork or lawyers necessary in order to create one. So when I used to flip laptops in college and sell them on eBay occasionally, yeah, I could have just put them on my personal credit card and not really bothered to call it an official business. But instead, I viewed it as a sole proprietorship, and that meant that I was able to not only get some crazy tax benefits at the end of the year as a business, but I could also apply for a business credit card, business bank accounts, and reap some of those great benefits. So yes, you do technically need a quote-unquote business in order to get a business credit card. However, when you do go to apply for these cards, you can simply put the sole proprietorship structure on the application and use your personal social security number to sign up rather than inputting an EIN number that some of those other businesses might use. So with all of that in mind, yes, you can get a business credit card without some fancy established business and paperwork. So we already talked about why you should do this a little bit, but not only are you going to get a ton of additional benefits, sign-up bonuses, and higher credit limits, but having this separate card also allows you to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses, which is super important when it comes time to do your taxes at the end of the year. Plus, on top of all of that, you'll also likely start building a business credit score depending on which card you go with. And what that means is when it comes time to apply for maybe another credit card down the road, maybe even a business loan or any kind of financial product for that matter, oftentimes those companies and financial institutions will pull your business credit score rather than your personal credit score, which could be a huge advantage or disadvantage depending on the situation. Now, I want to clarify that if this is your first time applying for a business credit card, then more likely than not, they are going to pull your personal credit score because that's the only point of reference that they have. And regardless of whether they pull your personal score or your business credit score, many times they will require what's called a personal guarantee just in case your business goes belly up. However, after you've applied for the first time, it's very likely that they will pull your business credit score, meaning you'll have access to higher credit limits and all of those other advantages that we talked about. With that in mind, there are a few companies that will always pull your personal credit score regardless of whether you have a business score or not, like Discover and Capital One, for example. So again, that's usually just going to depend on the company and which card you decide to apply for, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you are still going to get all of those additional benefits and rewards by having a business card. Okay, so maybe you fall into one of those categories that we discussed earlier, like a 1099 worker, a contractor, or you have a side hustle that you are running as a sole proprietorship. And again, that means that you can just go ahead and apply using your social security number. However, when you go in to fill out that application, you're probably going to be asked a few questions that might make you scratch your head a little bit, like your annual revenue and your expected annual spending on this card. And if you are just getting started with with your small business or side hustle, then you probably have no idea what to put down for those questions. But when it comes to any kind of financial application, you always want to be 100% truthful and honest, even if that means putting your revenue down as $0 because you haven't sold anything yet. I know that might sting a little bit, and it could very well lead to you getting denied for that particular credit card application. However, you never ever want to lie on any kind of financial application, because when it comes time to do your taxes at the end of the year, it's very possible that the truth will eventually come out, and that is no way to start the running of your business if you want to take it seriously. So when it comes to estimating your revenue and expected spending, just take a best guess that is realistic, and don't really worry about it too much, because everyone had to start somewhere, and a lot of business credit cards, depending on which one you are applying for, are aimed at side hustles or small business owners who are just getting started. So in most cases, you have nothing to worry about. Alright, so we've answered the question that yes, you can get a business credit card without filing any fancy paperwork with the state, and we've talked about the huge advantages that come with getting a business credit card over a personal credit card. So you might be wondering, which card should you apply for? Well, that's not necessarily the scope of this video, and if you do want a really in-depth breakdown on the best business credit cards in my opinion, then I have made a video on that very topic recently that you will definitely want to check out. And I've also made a few videos on the best business bank accounts that might also be worth looking at. However, for the sake of being thorough, here's a few suggestions on the best places to get started with your first business credit card. One of the most popular beginner options is the Chase Inc. business card, and this actually segues nicely into another point that I wanted to mention, and that is that if you want to increase your chances of getting approved for a particular card, then it might be a good idea to apply through a bank that you already bank with. So what I mean by that is if you have a Chase bank account already, then maybe apply for the Chase Inc. card. Or if you have a Capital One bank account, then maybe go ahead and apply for the Capital One Spark business card. Both of those are fantastic options, and by applying through a company that you already have a working relationship with, you might have a much higher chance of getting approved, even if you are just getting started with your small business or side hustle. Those two are great options, but if you have decent personal credit or established credit history as a business, then there are some higher end options from American Express, like the American Express Blue Business Card, Gold and Platinum cards, and some unique options like the Hilton Honors American Express Business Card that can all give you some fantastic benefits depending on the spending categories of your business and the benefits that you were looking to get out of your credit card. Again, if you want a more in-depth look or information at any of the products that I just mentioned, then I will leave a link to the full top 5 review video that I did on the best business credit cards down in the description below. But seriously, if there is any way that you think you could fall into one of those business categories that we talked about earlier, then I would definitely give it a shot and at least try to apply for a business credit card, because again, the sign-up bonuses, cash back, and other advantages that this type of card is going to give you are significantly greater than 99% of the personal credit cards on the market. Now, I do feel it's important to mention that oftentimes the business version of credit cards might have a higher annual fee, so that is something you'll want to keep in mind, but many of the options that I just mentioned are completely free and have no annual fees. So if you are looking at signing up for those options, then really that's nothing to worry about. So I would love to know what your small business or side hustle is, and whether or not you plan on applying for a separate business credit card or bank account for that matter. And if you do plan on giving this a shot, then I would love to know what you plan on applying for and why you feel that business credit card is the best fit for you and your business. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, the easiest way to do that is checking out some of my favorite financial tools down in the description below and getting some free money while you're at it, which is always an added bonus. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. And of course, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really do appreciate that so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.